and CLG is starting off on the T side. So this will be interesting. I think this is the easier place for Immortals to find themselves, considering that, again, I mean, they've not had the best quality practice considering all the things that have been going on.
Yeah, this is as close to a literal pug as you can get in Pro League, and that's not to tarnish their name. I mean, it's just the position they were forced into. I mean, I don't think they can see it as anything different for themselves.
Yeah, it's definitely hard times. I think they've been doing a pretty good job overall, just sort of adapting to it. Second week looks much better than the first. Either way, they're not playing with Zach, which is probably good. Got Shiz in there from Luminosity, or previously of Luminosity. And looks like they can't deny the plant, so not looking too good at the moment. CLG does have a kit and a smoke. They need to get closer to that bomb first, and so far it's proving quite troublesome to get past these avenues in this train yard. Horvey, last man standing. Horvey might be the most individually skilled player on the team.
Oh, really?
I think. I'm not sure.
No, you're crazy.
You reckon I'm crazy?
Yeah, Horvey's not been in a major final. I would say like Steel. I would say Steel, because Steel played really well even.
That's true.
Like he's an IGL, but he also played really well individually.
That's true.
I think there's got to be, when you like criteria for rating how good a player is, you've got to also rate like how good have they been in what circumstances too.
That's
like
very fair, yeah.
Talk about JDM, and I feel conflicted about JDM, but then I always say like he's a safe bet for a deep run in a tournament. You know that he can play really well at a deep run in a tournament. Whereas like Shiz, for example, really good, so has really good online season, but then, you know, as soon as he went to DreamHack Montreal, his LAN did really badly. And that might change with time, but sometimes you don't have time.
And sometimes you don't have health, if you're Ricky, in this round anyway. It's going to be a plant, which is nice, considering that should speed things along here. Immortals lining up with the CZs. Doing a lot of damage, actually. The trading game not very good here for CLG, and it's partly because they didn't push the train yard, or they were unable to push the train yard enough to create enough space for their teammates to actually have good engagements. And that is the problem with this bomb site.
Yeah, it's really easy to take, but it's also really easy to take back. And I think he... Oh, wow. Just... ZQK not really... what was he doing? Because he's back a bomb, so that means he can't watch the lower ramp. But he wasn't holding upper. So...
no idea.
Yeah, I mean, you can choose... sometimes you have to pick, it's a 50-50, whether they're going to come down the lower ramp or upper. But if you're positioned such that you can only watch one, then you probably should hang on to it. But maybe he was throwing utility, I'm not sure. But CLG win that by the skin of their teeth, and you pointed out like something really important. It's just that like with B, just because you take the site, your job isn't done. You have to go forward and deny people coming in. Try to get a 5v3 even sometimes, if possible, before you can really sit back and play after plan.
Yeah, there's kind of nowhere to stand unless you do it like that. It feels really awkward for a team.
Yeah, you've got like defaults and then back pop.
Kind of sucks. Well, this is a good cleanup here in this anti-eco from CLG so far. As the QK just getting some extra value in there for that Deagle. But I would be surprised to see him survive any longer, and indeed he'll die. 3-0 for CLG. Very smooth and simple and sort of very expected standard kind of opening here.
I think they're totally good enough to just go outside, kind of scrim outside, just take it through T-Con and make sure not to, I guess, like pull out too much utility and keep it simple. As long as you know, sometimes you jump into T-Con, you risk getting naded if there is going to be a nade stack. But if you don't, you can catch someone pushing the ladder. That's like a really good bit of information. And here we have the lower peak antics again.
8 health damage.
Not so bad.
Maybe you just have to have sick timing.
Yeah.
Who knows? That's me.
He's just like, I can help you with this.
So CLG just going straight for a B play. Not really expressing pressure anywhere on the map, just going for it. They do have Finesse, who's going to be playing Lurk around Pop. And that's a good opener from Ethan. Gets himself number 2. And you can see here, now he's going to be taking forward positions Although actually, as I say that, he's actually just kind of walking it. So this is at least better than the previous time.
Yeah, I think Immortals should think about sit completely safing, not losing anybody here. Two entries. You gotta hold that L. You know that the terrorists have so much utility left that they didn't use, that they weren't pressured to use. You don't have man advantage. You don't have any information whatsoever. So CLG, I think, going to be aware of this and actually are getting maybe a head start. Nope, we're just making sure to stay alive. Probably a good idea. It definitely seems to be the favorable thing to unless you have 16K on everybody, to try to worry about your own economy first and foremost.
Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of it. I think teams get a bit too paranoid about like trying to force the other team onto bad money, and they try to shoehorn that situation in spots when it doesn't really make sense. Like if you sort of just, you know, make up some numbers, and oftentimes the odds are going to be pretty poor if the other team's playing the save correctly for you to get the kill. And I think pure money value is just not worth it. Either way, quick round outside this time. So I like this. CLG, they did the fast B play execution. They test that. Now they're testing outside, seeing how the response will be from this Immortals lineup. Gradually, they work their way forwards with utility. And Finesse finds himself two, coming in at a perfect flank timing. What can you do about that?
Another round where you've probably got to save. It's 3v2. The bomb hasn't gone down just yet, and they probably want to before the smokes dissipate. But I mean, yeah, just you got a teammate to watch ladder. There's no way they can come Ivy. Just put it down and get that bomb tick in. Otherwise, CTs will get some ideas. Oh, all right. He's just got to save. He can't. Oh well, he has some utility. He's just not using it. I think it's like find a kill, use some utility, maybe stick the plant, try to make it a 1v1 or something. But he's got an op to hold on to.
Yeah.
You know, he's got an op to use for the retake.
I think that's like one of those spots where it's like, oh well, you know, we can just buy in the next round anyway. Or well, okay, maybe can't, but yeah, you just a 1v3 off the plant on the A bomb site of Train. It's one of the hardest sites to retake.
Maybe the hardest. Maybe it's the absolute hardest.
Yeah, it's if you asked me what the hardest one was and I had to pick, I would definitely say this map, say Bomb Train. And you do have an AWP there, so yeah, it would have been nice to see him just save everything, but decided not to for whatever reason, and now he's a scout. So there you go. Just desserts.
Yeah, it could have been a much more dangerous round for them if they had that big green gun with these CZs to complement. But instead, you've one player inside, a couple rotates. Actually, they seem to be shifting as the nades allow them to kind of telegraph the execute. There's something.
So going again for this play into B. Ethan, again, good for 2 kills towards the bomb site. Destiny wrapping his way back, though. Somehow no one is watching this. He's going for the knife. That's outrageous stuff there from Destiny. And that's going to destabilize things a little bit here, perhaps, as the health is incredibly low for these players. Although turning his back just as Kusto appears, Destiny will die.
Where was Kusto? On the other side of the smoke?
I have no idea.
Oh,
he's up high.
Oh my gosh.
Horvey is just peppering them and just finishing them all off. They're all super weak, but it's a 10-second defuse. Ricky just has to buy time. Kill works as well.
Goes for the crush defuse. That's why not. Yeah, not a big hope there to win the round. They do some damage on the eco, a lot actually, so that's kind of good. Well, the half buy, you could say maybe the op would have made a difference, but ZKK also was good for one with a scout headshot, wall bang. But they buy now. 6-0, CLG hot start on T side of Train after winning map 1. Not necessarily narrowly, but probably could have been a little bit more decisive. Still a win in their pocket. Smokes outside and inside have all both been good for CLG. Ivy control though for Immortals, and it's I wonder how frisky they're going to get here. Good transition, like that.
Yeah, that's nice. So we can see the setup here from CLG. Looking for that split. T-main and Pop Dog. Finesse going for the line as per usual. That's quite the catch. And now things can get going. This is he's come back here, so presumably just threw a smoke from the dumpsters. And now CLG are overwhelming the bomb site defense. Steel, you can see, stuck on the bomb train here, losing all of his teammates. Able to take down Ricky, and in comes Shiz, only just to go down to Finesse. And that is the defense rocked well and truly.
You see that first kill, it just activates everybody to rush the site, get across. They know that if an up-close player has died, there's only one more at most. They don't have to worry about a crossfire at all. They can start smoking stuff out like Z and just focus on getting as far ahead as possible.
I wonder if CLG have watched many Envious demos, because I think they could probably take some things from Envious. I feel like Envious might be a good model for them, potentially. Either way, we have Cutler able to die, and that's the bomb as well. Oh god. Oh no. This is very favorable now for Immortals. They've got the bomb in a forward position. They picked up weapons. Pretty bold peek there. Onto Finesse. Ethan goes down as well. No one with any kind of reply here from the CLG side except Ricky, who's alone at this point. He's got so many angles to worry about, and he's going to go down. Not much you can do about that. Look at the value collected here. AK, 2 AKs and an AWP.
Yeah, and they were saving. So they have all that money. And man, CLG, all they had to do was win an eco. If Immortals went around, they could reset them. But here, Immortals are instantly back on their feet, and they picked up the op as well. So, great position to be in. And a huge round from Steel. I mean, you come out, you get the first kill, okay. But the bomb being by itself, maybe not okay. Not expecting an interpush, potentially. Maybe expecting to be able to go outside really quickly. Could be a reason why they had that going on. But he was the man to watch the interpush, so it's a fair bit of information to give up. And ZKK opens up this round. Has a nice change with a 5v4. And he has been getting off frags, for sure.
So here he is now about to face down onto Ali, get that info, get them kills. Forward smoke in there to allow the teams to push forwards, but ZQK with other ideas there. He's going to push forwards. I thought they were going to line up for him there, but he only gets to one. Still though, Immortals under pressure to prevent themselves from being reset here have done a good job. Ricky once again, the last man standing. And he's about to die. Oh, maybe not.
Jumps right over the offshot. Oh, he's hunting down his prey. And any of these kills are actually quite important. There's 50 seconds left. He gets the bomb. They're actually backing off. So his options are somewhat open. Oh, whoa. I guess he's anticipating just the op to be watching it.
Yeah, that's I guess pretty much it. As you said, that was like a really interesting position because he had, what was it, like a minute? So he had. There's so many things he could have done there. It's one of those cool spots.
Yeah, I think your mind goes from like simplest, most direct option to long con and back sometimes.
Yeah.
Maybe you try to just figure out where Immortals are at on that spectrum.
So Kusa the man to try to pick Ali for CLG. He's got Horvey to worry about. I've seen Horvey be pretty disgusting recently, and that is a disgusting shot. It's a hard one to hit.
I see what you're talking about now.
His rifling is very good as well, and that's sort of what I felt like when I watched him last time, that he was sort of that player that can have just basically deliver a huge amount of damage no matter what he has, and every team needs a guy like that.
Or a couple.
Or a couple, yeah. The Oscar of the team, the Mixwell of the team, the Cold of the team.
Oh, wow. Oscar, Mixwell, Cold, Horvey.
Yeah, not exactly where I was going with it, but yeah, I guess, you know, whatever. Oh, this is another hopeless situation. It's really painful to get sort of stuck in the mud in these spots. You can't get through the choke points as T's, but they will be able to progress forwards. But you can see that the CTs have these very nice setups all ready to go, and plenty of time for Kusta to casually arrive at the top of the ladder there to pick up that kill. 3 more players to find the flick shot miss, and that's the end of Kusta. 7-3. Immortals really back in this one. Well, beginning to be back in this one. They've actually finally broken CLG's money.
Yeah, like their maximum potential for the half looks low, but they're also giving themselves confidence by winning rounds, and also giving themselves some hope in the second half to be able to make some mistakes, which is important.
So I predict B Rush and Immortals lose all their guns and lose the round.
Lose the round? Okay.
That's what I predict. So we're going to get the B Rush. B Rush might be coming.
Oh, wow. Oh, splitting up a bit. Yeah, they're walking to it.
Come on, come on. So Shuz just gets the sort of sound cue there. I think he really did even a shoulder peek. And Kusa's trying to bait some nades here. So they may try to just, like, bait some nades. So Immortals obviously fearing the rush, gets rid of those incendiaries as we see, and then they can sort of re-execute the set piece in like now, and they don't have to worry about those incendiaries. So good bit of forward presence. It's just about trying to get the bomb down, but it's like Immortals will evade catastrophe.
I saw the prophecy coming true. But it was a good hold overall. So the only downside about baiting a utility is, or like alerting the other team, especially on eco round, is the other team would feel very comfortable playing 2-3. So if you go out like right away and risk running through a molly, well then you still might only have to face one person inside, but if you bait out utility and make it seem like you might do it, then they'll play 2-3, and then you have to worry about 2 people inside who are like really, really attentive to both choke points. But sometimes it's better than running through a molly, so.
Right, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Oh wow, a couple bullets connecting to the back of Steel's head there. But a worthy push nonetheless, although ZQK, speaking of pushes, will get pushed down from Pop Dog. Ricky there providing the fire. Looking great here. Ricky absolutely smashing everyone.
That was pretty beastly.
Such explosive stuff, and again, it's really why it's so cool that Rick is on the CLG team. It just really makes, like, between him and Kusta, it like really fits, because he's that great secondary AWPer, but he can really rifle. Like Ricky he's got a great rifle game.
Yeah, definitely. You see it right there. That was awesome, and you could see some impatience in him to like come out by himself out of ladder, but he saw an opportunity. He really did call Immortals out on becoming maybe a little bit too complacent outside of the beginning of the rounds. Immortals, CLG haven't done a rush outside per se, or fast ladder control for that matter.
That is nice. Yeah. That is very nice. And it's a big problem for CLG as well. I feel like that's happening a bit too consistently in the last few rounds, where they sort of drop an early advantage on the men and sort of just get like bogged down in these 2 choke points, Pop Dog and T main, and then sort of just eventually end up losing the round. Whereas, as you said previously, Ricky, he took that opportunity to get past that position, get a 1v1, and that cleared so much space.
You would be very strong. That spot.
Oh man. Be careful, he dares to do it. He dares to pull out the nade, and that's what you get when you pull out the nade. But still coming in with a flank, this could be money. But Finesse with a jumping AK, of course, why not?
It wouldn't be Counter-Strike.
Yes, yeah, that was...
We didn't see that every so often.
Actual Steel, thought he's going to get a little bit more than that.
What do you think? Do you think that it should be basically not be able to shoot while in the air, or do you think?
No, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I mean,
I think so too.
It's I think about CS as well is that it always had, you know, a few elements which had a degree of randomness, right? You know, of course, recall being one, and
spread,
and it was just, yeah, and you know, that sort of thing. It just, I guess it's. I hate this argument, but because, you know, in Quake, for example, there is nothing that's random except the spawns, and depending on the spawn system, it may not even be completely random. Like, there's a degree of deduction that you can sort of narrow it down to. These are the likely options,
yeah,
and play accordingly. So there's almost like nothing that's actually random in that game, and it's actually very cool. But at the same time, having something that provides a bit of variance is actually pretty important. That's not controlled by the players to some extent. That can be a good gameplay thing, and I think it's something that you've got to be very cautious with, because there's other ways to do that as well, having variance without sort of making, having random elements of gameplay.
Why do you think it's important for your experience?
So I'm going to give you an example that's quite infuriating. Guess we might. Just wondering if there's something he's gonna. I don't want to talk over something important here. As Steel might be able to get himself a kill here, and also his potential. Ah, there's no gun there. It was a jumping Mag 10. Okay, that was cool from Ethan. I think he got some information there for the team, and Ricky can kind of play off of that. I was wondering if Ricky would actually try to pick into B there, but he's gonna go back to Pop Dog, support his teammates going into A.
That was like almost a dink. It seemed like a ton of health lost.
As they're edging their way forwards now. Destiny, that's a great frag to make. I mean, Finesse is the player that's trying to wrap the bomb site and really destabilize that CT setup. But that's going to help Immortals somewhat. They're still up a man. And the health is really low for CLG. They're really labored getting in onto this site for the plant. Maybe they're being a bit too slow here because right now this looks really controlled from Immortals.
They went slowly outside. It didn't have any smokes either, which makes it particularly difficult. And the last kill with the scout. Another very, very clean eco round from Immortals. And I wonder if did they expel too much utility early on, or what the problem was for CLG. But it seems like they had full everything to start it out. So, you know, with your utility expiring, that means that you have like a certain amount of time to make the moves that you need to make to get in the proper position so that the CTs are useless. But from there, it seemed like they pretty much could have got as far as they did without any utility, and then maybe used it, or I don't know. But like, let's say they smoked off the right side bomb, then they could plant front of the bomb. No one could get to the guy planting the bomb unless they came over, and that's one smoke. They didn't have any.
Yeah, they were lacking. And back to the around this, you know, worked in the opening stages of their buy rounds. This was just the straight B rush or B execution, set piece execution, and it's gonna come in again. And with with ZQK in such a forward position, any smokes they put down, he's just gonna be able to look straight over those. Right now, the setup from Immortals is looking fine and dandy. Oh wow, they've completely denied CLG. This is really interesting this half because it feels like Immortals really did over time adjust.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. The defense is calcified. And they're getting farther and farther away from winning rounds as the half goes on, right?
Yeah, yeah, it really seems that way.
Yeah, as noted by the round wins. And there was 7 rounds in a row to start the game off, so impressive comeback. That's kind of what we saw in the first map as well. Strong start by Answer by Immortals. I want to hear what your example was.
All right, so this is a really awful example, and I think I might actually, the more I think about this, I think it might change my opinion a bit. But the so in football, there's this like very enraging thing that FIFA did where they were like, they didn't want to like have the goals decided by the goal line technology. They wanted the refs to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, like you could just know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You could just know. But they're like, no, we want the human element because that provides more drama, which is stupid. It's so stupid. But I think there is a degree of truth to it. We can get back to this as the pistol rounders continue on the bomb train. And right now, CLG having a bit of a hard time of it. Ethan, though, just standing up large and in charge there on the bomb train, able to get a reload in for the 1v1 against Steel. Surely not. Surely he can't win this after being allowed a reload on 8 HP. Just has to find that one click. Steel, though, he's going to try to play this safe. He manages to grab the bomb. He's going to get the hell out of there for a side plant on the B sides.
This is the best plant. Can play from both sides. And, oh, he's actually, I think he's playing it from the lesser expected. Oh, no, wow. There's a chance there. There's a small chance.
Yeah.
Could have been a nutty 1v5. My gosh. There's actually, that happened in baseball as well, where
right.
There was to decide pitches. They were thinking about whether or not to use a machine to figure out whether or not it was truly a ball, but they eyeball it, right? The umpire eyeballs it. But I think the argument for them was that it's just how baseball is and always has been.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that is part of the game.
And it is interesting, actually, to an extent, because there's this argument that in esports we have so much information all the time. That you should show all the information. But the more information you show, you know, StarCraft is a great example. Broodwater StarCraft 2. the less exciting it can become, because you have too much knowledge of who is ahead and who is behind, and that can, to some extent, spoil the excitement because there's less anticipation, and there can be like upsets in a situation which can be exciting. But if you really don't know, the anticipation is more present all the time, I think. So I think it's a bit more exciting. But
yeah, I think the bit more exciting part for sure makes sense. I think it makes sense also. There's, I think the other thing that people don't realize is that they like RNG. They just, the only time they notice it is when it happens to them.
Yeah. That's kind of the point as well. Like the baseball thing's actually kind of a good example in some respects, because for me in Quake, I would never ever like want to put these things. I think the game works as it is, and without any random elements. But with CS, it's kind of how it has always been to an extent. There's always like this element of some level of unexpected randomness in something, and as long as it's not so ridiculously stupid that it should really be out of the game, then you're alright. I think like the jump shooting is we don't see a big prevalence. I mean, we saw an insane shot on Mirage yesterday, I think. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday.
Yeah. It's also a way of balancing, right? So people talk about how the AK should have like 100% accuracy at all times.
Yeah.
But the thing costs $2,700. So what does that mean for other guns?
That's very true, yeah.
Is that even fair?
And considering it's a one-shot kill on the heads as opposed to the M4, which is not, is also an interesting sort of counterbalancing factor.
Yeah.
If you make it accurate as well, Scream becomes the best player overnight.
Yeah. Now maybe it should be a little bit more accurate or something. That I can understand, but certainly not 100% accurate.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Well, into the gun rounds we go, and it's all tied up here between Immortals and CLG. And I don't know how you feel about it, but I feel like it's going to be tough for Immortals to put together anything but some basic rounds. But if they can find some success in DMing on A, then I feel like that could be like the best approach for them.
Yeah, CLG are actually really low on nades, so in this situation, an XQ would work well. There's a number of things that could work well, really. They have options. Now, they're not going for Ivy control. So this might be a two-way split outside. They have cleared some stuff out and got ladder control, which can be difficult in and of itself. CLG playing ultra passive and a reek outside because they've played two dedicated inner.
On the AUG, there's one, and there's the scope, and then he's dead. As are the rest of Immortals. Good defense here from CLG, is holding up.
They kept it very loose. They didn't use their grenades. They didn't use enough grenades, and if you die doing this, then it's kind of like, why? What's your advantage having more money than the other team? 1v3 ZKK outside. This time on terrorist. What was that smoke for? We'll soon find out.
Close one. Oh, he's able to escape. Yeah, I was wondering the entire time, okay, what is he going for here? This is definitely an interesting play he's making. But he does use the smoke to get out of there in the end, so guess that works out. But actually no, it's all okay because the money with the team is very strong. So
yeah, maybe he was just refreshing it so he could walk all the way back to ladder.
And Rick is really hell bent on this AUG, which is awesome. So can't wait to see how that actually fits into the picture. Cutler seemingly not having an amazing game so far as getting into the action is concerned, but maybe that will turn around.
Setting up for quick smokes. It looks like they've already kicked it off with some type of false exec, and some smokes have been thrown in response. A lot of pressure on Ricky. Nice frag from FNS. Might get another one. A lot of damage still.
There they go into Ricket by E-Box playing that AUG, man. He wants those juicy AUG frags. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ricket, please. ZQK finds him somehow. Perhaps the tracers through the smoke was what allowed ZQK to get the shot, but now he's alone again with the AWP. Again. Just stuck in an impossible situation. How depressing. And this is what, I mean, CLG were often in this spot on the T side. That's sort of how the second half of the first half went. getting stuck in these choke points.
Yeah. I wonder if he, like, in his mind, if he thinks he can win the round, or if he thinks I won't be able to save if I leave now. So maybe he's trying to play the game a little bit, but as safely as possible before he even tries to save.
He may be able to do something here. He has managed to find himself a good angle that will be quite unexpected. Every CT is still looking towards teammate. He somehow snuck out. But he's going to use this to actually save, which is so funny because he could have just
gone through.
He could have just stayed into teammate and just fallen back. It's so funny because it's kind of like the last round where it's like he's like showing us, oh, I'm going to make a play.
Yeah.
Actually, just going to back away.
Yeah, I guess it's just very prepared for a mistake. It's extremely ready for CLG to blow it.
Yeah, that is really cool actually. I like that a lot.
But maybe I know you were alluding to this last round, but maybe a difficult position for his team to buy now because he's saving with no money. But they're not going to buy into it. They're just going to buy a little bit.
I like it. I like it. The question is, how do you use that QK? That's the main issue. I think it's really difficult getting the AWP going consistently on T side. So I like that he shoots this wall.
I feel like he shouldn't be dying last, if anything.
Yeah. So CLG know that they don't have to really do too much in this position. Just like hold some safe setups. And this is why I like the two-man setup they have on B, because you can see on the minimap that they're not really close to the slope. They're sort of, it's like the middle of the bomb train sort of defense, whereby you allow the T's to come down. You can grenade, you can shoot, you can fall back, you can survive and buy time. And that's what that setup really does very well. They go into the outside perhaps. And ZQK, he's going to knock Kuster off the train. Maybe there is a chance in this round after all.
Yeah. It becomes all too real. Oh, FNS doesn't get his frag either. Destiny with the 2K and the CZ and more frags coming out. Not a single kill from CLG as Immortals enter outside, pick up another up. All the guns recovered. The AUG changes hands. The AUGlet.
The AUG on T side, don't see it too often. That is pretty nuts. So much value, man. Another AWP, the M4s, the AUG, that's so ridiculous. You can't really have much, like a bigger swing of money than that, really. That's crazy.
I really can't tell if it's because they just didn't hit their shots so they lost that round or not.
Okay, Ricky looking to get cheeky here with the flashbang. I think he's screwed though. Yeah, he's screwed.
Yeah.
I don't know if he even got to throw the flash. Oh, okay, so are CLG going to lose this game? I think they're going to lose this game, man. I feel like that's just going to happen.
I would be shocked if they lost this game, but I've been shocked before.
Yeah, I don't think I can be shocked if they lose games. Pretty much against anyone at this point. Just based off of what we saw yesterday.
It's the desensitization.
Yeah, I mean, we've just seen some stuff from them where they'll do sometimes they'll do some stuff very well, but then there's some basics that they may mess up, and it's just sometimes if that happens in the wrong moment, it can cost you a match. Some great damage here from Cutler though. He's really ripping into them with his Deagle. There is no way. This is crazy. Cutler with the Deagle still getting some tags in. Another kill.
Nice.
Oh man, he just erased all the weapons they picked up, which is nice.
Yeah, that was nice. They did save so many that and on a save that now they still have good money to buy, but that was really good. The half isn't over by any means. Lots of rounds to play out. Kind of a busted buy by CLG, but I like that they favored grenades instead of like FOMASs and stuff like that. FNS and Ethan in particular. They're full nade sets. I feel more confident when I look at the buys if I see full grenade sets than I do if I see like M4s across the board with no grenades on the CT side of train.
Yeah.
It's just so many choke points.
Yeah, it's a must. So Immortals setting up for an outside play. Spray comes in from Destiny. The entries here are happening for Immortals, but it is definitely not without its cost. 2 players lost in this effort. Even more still, Cutler shows that if he can do damage with a Deagle, but give him an M4, he's going to win the round. ZQK once again alone, playing whack-a-mole. Nice catch onto Kusta. Oh, that is absolutely ridiculous. ZQK, he's got one more to find, whiffs the shot. Cutler trying to play this patiently. Knows that ZQK has to go for the plant eventually.
Oh my god, man.
He's got so much time though, and he switched out to the AK.
This is crazy. Cutler has no idea. He might see him. Oh, that's so unfortunate.
Wow, that is nuts.
You gotta feel bad for the kid. I don't know how old he is, but I called him a kid.
Great quad kill from Cutler, and I did say that earlier that Cutler's been struggling a bit. He's five frags, it's 18 rounds played or something, and now last few rounds he has woken the hell up. That's the Deagle round, then into this one, this last one.
Yeah, he really has. This is actually like Fur on their CD side comeback versus SK.
It's again another fast run outside from Immortals. I think they do really have to rely on these fast outside rounds just because they can't have too many. Like their playbook can't be too big.
Oh, what's happening?
I have no idea what's going on outside, man. It's just chaos. T sneaking around trains, steal. Grab that bomb train. All right, now CLG are in a good spot. They're in a really good spot. They're in a great spot. Yeah. Look at the money on it. This should be game, right?
It should be game, yeah.
Should be game for a CLG. They got this.
Stranger things have happened. We're still leaving that up.
Good show.
In the air. Good show, yes.
Good show. I haven't seen season 2 yet.
I'm watching it.
Is it good?
It is good. Yeah.
Nice. I look forward to it.
I wish there's so much good acting in the show, but it's too bad about Winona Ryder. Not a fan.
That's hilarious. Well, yeah, this should be a free one for the CLG lads. They just have to hold on to good setups. You can see on B, they're playing very passively. It's very safe. They have an easy ability to just rain and the grenades onto the bomb site if they need to. And they can also quickly reinforce A if there's a rush here, which there is. And of course, it's doing immense damage. And this is quickly spiraling out of control for CLG. What on earth is happening? They can't hold outside in these rounds when they're supposed to.
I just like to be a fly on the wall.
I'm looking to you, Mo. What is, please, answers?
I mean, it's not over, technically. Who's this here? And?
That's true.
Oh. Horvey almost wanted to do that. Seems like he caught the scent. Can you actually do that? Can you bang through the bottom of the train?
Maybe you can. Because you can kind of shoot people's feet. Like, sometimes there's like little gaps.
Remember Old Train?
Yes.
It was all about feet shot.
Yes. Yeah.
It was a nightmare.
I hated it, actually. I really didn't like it, yeah.
Oh, it was terrifying.
Train was, I know some people, I think it's like a hate it or love it situation. Some people really love Train. I really hated it.
It was like, I think everyone who said they loved Train was just trying to be a hipster. You know what I mean? I don't think they actually, I don't think you could really. It was such a hard map. It was legitimately terrifying to play T-side. Like, dreadful.
I had really bad brightness settings as well, so if people were hiding under trains, I couldn't see them.
And also, I would go into T-side thinking, like, we're going to lose this game if we don't have 5 rounds on T. We can get 5 rounds on T-side.
Are you talking about 1.6 train?
No.
Okay, just 5 rounds on 1.6 train. It's like you've won the game.
Yeah,
you've won the game.
Yeah, exactly. No. On this one, on the old train too, right? If you didn't have 5 rounds on T-side, if you didn't have 5 rounds, you lost. 5 rounds is actually a really good half.
It's a great half.
Yeah, that's right home about that half, but terrifying otherwise. Oh, what a shot, dude! Wow, man. He could have missed that shot. No one would have said anything. He'd been fine.
Yeah,
been perfectly okay.
Really needed though. If we look at their utility, this is big, and that's another great conversion on the flash. So right, they're going to line up. That's beautiful damage done for Finesse, and now Immortals are in a lot of trouble. It's really difficult to see where this game is going to go. Obviously, it seemed pretty clear last round, but then everything imploded for CLG. But it's interesting because perhaps it suggests that when Immortals have all the pistols and that greater movement speed that you get from that, and it allows them to play trades much more quickly down and gain space around the bomb train much more quickly. And perhaps that's what destabilizes CLG's defense, because with Immortals are struggling on their rounds against CLG when they do the same thing with rifles and they have to move slower.
I really believe in that. I really believe in that. Like, when you see a team get like absolutely destroyed, but then they suddenly win an eco round out of nowhere, I think it's tied into the confidence and are just playing scared when you have too much to lose.
Yeah.
And with pistols, you feel like you feel so fine. You feel so fine, not worried about dying, and so you can get more ground, you can make plays, and that's exactly what you're supposed to do on those rifle rounds as well, but you don't have that same confidence. Oy. Scary. Yeah, but, like, gotta have a high sense to make adjustments in that spot.
Ethan's playing the waiting game, and the waiting game will be very, very successful. That's got to feel good, knowing that they've had trouble in these rounds. Oh, I forgot that it's actually generally a thing for CLG struggling in these rounds.
Now, getting in front of, or getting up close and personal in choke points is like a strategy that you use playing E-box, playing inside ladder. And it's really nice to play inside ladder now that you can hear grenades. Like, it's become very difficult for T's, and that's got to be a good nade. That's all right. But, yeah, it's nice for CTs to play in ladder. They can play them by themselves now. They don't have much support at all.
And Ricky's doing the smart thing there. He's going to pop dog, which is what they just cleared. So if he's a bit faster, he's got the guaranteed flank. But there is a right now, well, I was going to say 19 health collectively between two players, but now they're all dead. So 15-12, CLG have finally reached match point. And they've worked pretty hard for this. I feel as though this definitely could have come a little bit sooner, but can't count out Immortals just yet. They do have $2,000 in the bank, so that means they can buy CZs, which means that they're going to play a fast round outside, which means that they're likely to win the round is higher than the win round. See that process there?
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what's happened many times already. So we'll soon find out if that's the case. Now we look at a passive setup from CLG. We actually got 3 people up and around Z. One's in heaven, which is a good spot to be in. Ethan's gonna have some pressure put on him. Goes out and takes a duel right away. Goes 1 for 1, which might not be that great, but if it is going to be an inner hit 4-on-4, it's not so bad.
Yeah, the numbers game, it's not as bad, right? Because you, as a CTs, you can sort of just rain all the grenades in. You get much better approach, right? So
yeah, it just, as long as you have the utility, 4-on-4 retake's not so bad. We do have a late flank from Ivy.
Ooh, we got a connection there onto Cutler.
Wow.
With the scout.
So I think they're going to wait for Hori to make contact. If he gets a kill, they'll hit inner. If he dies, they'll hit enter. And now they're going to start to pour out.
Yeah, Horvey did not get to pull his trigger this round, which might be the last round of train for him today. She's going to be on the bomb plant here, but again, the nades can sail in from the CTs. They still have a lot of utility. There's an incendiary from Ricky, still a lot of utility. Cutler has an incendiary as well. He's yet to throw it. 3 shots being taken by ZQK from the top positions, and all of a sudden, pretty much everyone's dying. Finally, Shiz is killed, and that's Cutler with the round. And that will be the victory here for CLG, 16-12. I was worried for them. I thought it was happening again.
They played that pretty, like, they could have the smoke. They wanted to save it, but they had one player on top of the train by T-Con, and then one at Cloud.